This story is called Nobody Hugs a Cactus. Hank lived in a pot. The pot sat in a window. The window looked out at the empty desert. It was hot, dry, peaceful, and quiet, just the way Hank liked it. But every now and then, somebody would interrupt Hank's peace and quiet. "Hi, Hank," Rosie the tumbleweed called out. "Isn't it a beautiful day?" Hank ignored her. He just wanted to be left alone. "Okay, so long," said Rosie cheerfully, and she tumbled away. Hank was happy again. But just as he was beginning to relax, "Hello," shouted a tortoise. "Private property," yelled Hank. "Keep out." The tortoise was so frightened, he hid in his shell. Hank was still yelling at the tortoise when a jackrabbit dashed by. "Hiya, Prickles!" she shouted. "My name is Prickles," Hank yelled back, "and stay out of my yard." "Tumbleweeds, tortoises, jackrabbits, what's next?" said Hank. A coyote came loping by. "No dogs allowed," Hank yelled. "I'm not a dog," said the coyote, "and you are as prickly on the inside as you are on the outside." Before Hank could yell back at the coyote, a cowboy strode past. "Keep off the grass," shouted Hank. "What grass?" said the cowboy. "Seems to me somebody needs a hug. Too bad nobody hugs a cactus." "Hi," said a lizard. "Who invited you?" said Hank. "And just in case you're wondering, I don't want a hug." "That's good," said the lizard, "because I don't want to give you one." And then he skittered away. An owl landed on the roof. "If you're looking for a hug," said Hank, "well, I guess I could give you one." "Who, me?" said the owl. "You must be joking." And for the first time, Hank began to feel a little lonely. The next morning, Hank was feeling more sad on the inside than prickly. Maybe a hug wouldn't be so bad after all. The wind began to pick up. An old cup blew by and stuck to Hank's face. His arms were too short to get it off. "Great," said Hank. After a while, Rosie came bouncing by. "I'll get it off you, Hank," she shouted, and she jumped up and knocked the cup off Hank's face. Then she tumbled away. Hank didn't have time to thank Rosie. He felt bad about all the other times he had been so rude to her. So he came up with a plan. Hank decided to grow the best flower he could, and then give it to Rosie as a thank you gift. It took days, but at last it was ready. He couldn't wait for Rosie to pass by again. When at last she finally did come bouncing back, Hank held out the flower. "Hey, look, Rosie, I grew it just for you." Rosie was so surprised she jumped up and gave Hank a great big hug. It felt so nice, Hank didn't want to let go. And, as it turns out, he couldn't. Rosie and Hank had become stuck together. But they didn't care. After all, It's better to be stuck in a hug than stuck all alone. The end.
And now, time for a new book.
This book is called Pirate Pups. One day, while exploring the cliffs above Adventure Bay, Captain Turbot slipped and fell down a dark hole. At the bottom, he discovered an old pirate hideout. He was stuck in the creepy cavern, but he knew who could help him: the Paw Patrol. Ryder called the Paw Patrol to the lookout and told them about Captain Turbot. He's stuck in a cavern filled with pirate stuff, and he thinks it might be the hideout of the legendary Captain Blackfur, Ryder said. No one knows what he looked like or what happened to his treasure. Ryder needed Chase and Rubble for the rescue, but he told the rest of the pups to be ready just in case. Rubble was excited. He really wanted to be a pirate. Ryder, Chase, and Rubble raced to the cliffs and found the hole. Chase, Ryder said, I need your winch hook to lower me into the cave. Chase on the case. He pulled the hook over, and Ryder locked it onto his safety belt. Chase carefully lowered Ryder into the dark hole. The pups joined Ryder and Captain Turbot down below. Using Chase's spotlight, they found cool pirate stuff: a spyglass, a flag, and a real pirate hat. Ryder put the hat on Rubble's head. Arr, said Rubble. Shiver me timbers. Chase sniffed the air. I smell seawater, he said. He followed the scent and discovered a secret passage, but it was blocked by rocks. That must be the way to the beach, said Ryder. Stand back, landlubbers, said Rubble as he cleared the way with his digger. Ryder and the pups followed the passage to a beach. They found an old bottle with part of a map inside it. Is it a pirate treasure map? Rubble asked. Could be, said Ryder. We need all paws on deck to solve this mystery. Ryder called the rest of the pups to the beach and told them that the map had been torn into 3 pieces. There's a clue to where we'll find the next piece, he said. The part of the map that you seek hides in the big parrot's beak. The pups thought about the clue. Suddenly, Rocky said, Those boulders at the bottom of Jake's Mountain kind of look like a parrot. Let's check this out, Chase barked. The team hurried to the rocks that looked like a giant parrot. Sky flew up and found a bottle in its beak. Another piece of the map was inside. Rocky taped the pieces together, and Ryder read the next clue. From atop Parrot Rock, look toward the sea. A clue hides in the hollow of a very big tree. If we can solve that clue, Ryder said, we should find Blackfur's treasure. Chase thought for a moment. The biggest trees around here are in Little Hootie's forest. Good thinking, Ryder exclaimed. The forest was filled with lots of big trees, so Chase asked Little Hootie if he had seen an old bottle in any of the branches. He had. Little Hootie fluttered up to a hole high in the tree. Marshall drove his fire truck to the base of the tree, extended the ladder, and climbed up. Little Hootie was right, he said. He took down a bottle that contained the last piece of the map. Rocky taped the pieces together. They now had the whole map. Ryder read the final clue. Walk 20 paces from the tree toward setting sun and rising sea. Ryder turned to face the sun and the sea and he started walking. From the edge of the cliff, Ryder and the pups saw something amazing through the fog. It was an old pirate ship next to a deserted island. "Do you think it's Captain Blackfur's ship?" Rubble asked. The Paw Patrol worked together to pull the ship onto the beach. News of the find spread through Adventure Bay. Mayor Goodway and her pet chicken, Chickaletta, came to see the exciting discovery. On board, Ryder, Captain Turbot, and the pups found an old treasure chest. Inside were coins, jewels, a gold bone, and even a fancy dog bowl. "Why would a pirate captain have a dog bowl?" Marshall asked. Then, digging through the treasure, Ryder found an old picture of Captain Blackfur. Captain Blackfur was a pirate pup. "He looks just like me, except for the black fur beard," Rubble exclaimed. The team let out a mighty "Arr!" 3 cheers for the pirate pups of the Paw Patrol. The end.
And now, time for a new book.
This book is called Put Me in the Zoo. I will go into the zoo. I want to see it. Yes, I do. I would like to live this way. This is where I want to stay. Will you keep me in the zoo? I want to stay in here with you. We do not want you in the zoo. Out you go. Out, out with you. Why did they put me out this way? I should be in. I want to stay. Why should they put you in the zoo? What good are you? What can you do? What good am I? What can I do? Now here is one thing I can do. Look, all his spots are blue, and now his spots are orange. Say, he looks very good that way. Now look at this. What do you see? Green spots, as green can be. Violet spots. Say, you are good. Oh, they would put me in the zoo if they could see what I can do. I can put my spots up on this ball, and I can put them on a wall. I can put them on a cat, and I can put them on a hat. I can put them on the zoo, and I can put my spots on you. Look at this now. 1, 2, 3. I can put them on a tree. And now, when I say 1, 2, 3, all my spots are back on me. Look now. Here is one thing more. I take my spots, I make them 4. Oh, they would put me in the zoo if they could see what I can do. I take my spots, I take them all, and I can make them very small. And now you see, I take them all, and I can make them very tall. And when I want to have more fun, I take my spots and make them 1. They should put me in the zoo. The things my spots and I can do. See, I can put them in a box. I take them out. They look like socks. And I can put them way up high. Up, up they go. I make them fly. I put them high up in the air. My spots fly here. My spots fly there. I call them back now. 1, 2, 3. Now all my spots are back with me. Tell me now, you two, do you like the things I do? Tell me now, you two, will they put me in the zoo? We like all the things you do. We like your spots. We like you too. But you should not be in the zoo. No, you should not be in the zoo. With all the things that you can do, the circus is the place for you. Yes, This is where I want to be. The circus is the place for me. The end.
And now, time for a new book.
These are some rhymes. Jerry Hall, he is so small, a rat could eat him, hat and all. One day a boy went walking, and walked into a store. He bought a pound of sausage meat, and laid it on the floor. The boy began to whistle, he whistled up a tune, and all the little sausages danced around the room. Handy, Spandy, Jack-a-dandy, loves plum cake and sugar candy. He bought some at a grocer's shop, and out he came, hop, 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 hop. In a dark, dark wood, there was a dark, dark house, and in that dark, dark house, there was a dark, dark room. And in that dark, dark room was a dark, dark cupboard. And in that dark, dark cupboard there was a dark, dark shelf. And on that dark, dark shelf there was a dark, dark box. And in that dark, dark box there was nothing. 6 little ducks went swimming one day, over the pond and far away. Mother Duck said quack, 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 and 5 little ducks went swimming right back. 5 little ducks went swimming one day, over the pond and far away. Mother Duck said quack, 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 and 4 little ducks went swimming right back. 4 little ducks went swimming one day, over the pond and far away. Mother Duck said quack, 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 and 3 little ducks went swimming right back. 3 little ducks went swimming one day, over the pond and far away. Mother Duck said quack, 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 and 2 little ducks went swimming right back. 2 little ducks went swimming one day, over the pond and far away. Mother Duck said quack, 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 and 1 little duck went swimming right back. 1 little duck went swimming one day, over the pond and far away. Mother Duck said quack, 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 and no little ducks went swimming right back. This is called pairs of bears. Pairs on bears, bears in chairs. Pairs of bears with chairs going up the stairs. Hairy pairs of bears running down the stairs and out the door. 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. 1 fell off and bumped his head. Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more monkeys jumping on the bed." 4 little monkeys jumping on the bed. 1 fell off and bumped her head. Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more monkeys jumping on the bed." 3 little monkeys jumping on the bed. 1 fell off and bumped his head. Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more monkeys jumping on the bed." 2 little monkeys jumping on the bed. 1 fell off and bumped her head. Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more monkeys jumping on the bed." 1 little monkey jumping on the bed. 1 fell off and bumped his head. Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more monkeys jumping on the bed." No little monkeys jumping on the bed. None fell off and bumped their heads. Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "Put those monkeys right to bed." There was a little turtle. He lived in a box. He swam in a puddle. He climbed on the rocks. He snapped at a mosquito. He snapped at a flea. He snapped at a minnow, and he snapped at me. He caught the mosquito. He caught the flea. He caught the minnow. But he didn't catch me.
And now, time for a new book.
This story is called Samuel's Sprout. Samuel planted a garden on a sunny day. Samuel watered his garden on a sunny day. The beans grew, the cabbage grew, the corn grew, and the tomatoes grew. And the weeds grew too. Samuel weeded his garden on a sunny day. He weeded and weeded each little sprout, but one big sprout just wouldn't come out. He said, "I know what I can do. I'll call my wife. She can pull too." Samuel called his wife on a sunny day. They pulled and pulled and pulled that sprout, but that big sprout just wouldn't come out. He said, "I know what I can do. I'll call my son. He can pull too." Samuel called his son on a sunny day. They pulled and pulled and pulled that sprout, but that big sprout just wouldn't come out. He said, "I know what I can do. I'll call my baby. She can pull too." Samuel called his baby on a sunny day. They all pulled and pulled and pulled that sprout. And a big brown potato popped right out. Samuel said, "I know what I can do. I'll make potato soup for all of you." The end.
And now, time for a new book.
This story is called Stone Soup. Once upon a time, a very hungry family came to a little village. "Please, may we have some food?" they asked at the first house. "I'm very sorry," Mrs. Cornish said, "but I have barely enough food for myself." They knocked on the door of the second house. "Please, may we have some food?" they asked. "I'm very sorry," Mr. Ba said, "but I have barely enough food for myself." They tried one more time at the next door. "Please, may we have some food?" they asked. "I'm very sorry," Mrs. Stanley said. "I have barely enough food for myself, but I have an idea." Mrs. Stanley went to her kitchen and grabbed her biggest soup pot. "Come with me," she said to the family. Mrs. Stanley and the family walked to the river. "I will fill this pot with water and add a few small stones," she said to them. They all walked back to the village. Mrs. Stanley built a large cooking fire in the middle of the village. She hung the large pot over the fire. "Thank you for your help," the grandfather said, "but how will this feed our family?" "Just wait, and you will see," Mrs. Stanley said. Soon the people in the village gathered round. One by one they came by to ask the same question. "May we have some soup?" they all asked. Mrs. Stanley gave each of them the same answer. "I'm very sorry," she said, "but we barely have enough stone soup for ourselves." If only we had more to put in it, Mrs. Stanley said. Then we could share our stone soup with all of you. Stone soup? That does not sound like enough. I have a few carrots, Mr. Ba said. He hurried home to get the carrots. He came back and gave them to Mrs. Stanley. I have some celery to add to the soup, Mrs. Cornish said. She walked home quickly to get the celery, and when she came back, she added celery to the pot. Before they knew it, the pot was filled with vegetables. The villagers had filled the pot with the little food they had. Now there was enough soup for everyone. Thank you so much, the family said as they ate their soup. And thank you for letting us share in your stone soup, said the villagers. The villagers had learned an important lesson. With a little imagination and generosity, they could help themselves and others. The end.
And now, time for a new book.
This story is called The Grumpy Monkey. One wonderful day, Chimpanzee woke up to discover that nothing was right. The sun was too bright, the sky was too blue, and the bananas were too sweet. Jim was confused. What's going on? Maybe you're grumpy, suggested Norman from next door. I'm not grumpy, Jim insisted. On his walk, he met a marabou. Jim's grumpy, Norman told Marabou. Why are you so grumpy, Jim? Asked Marabou. It's such a wonderful day. Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy, said Jim. But look at how you're standing, Marabou said. It's true, said Norman. You're all hunched. So Jim loosened up. Then he ran into Lemur. Jim's grumpy, Norman told Lemur. Why are you grumpy, Jim? Asked Lemur. It's such a wonderful day. Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy, said Jim. Your eyebrows look grumpy, said Lemur. It's true, said Norman. They're all hunched up. So Jim raised his brows. Then he tripped over Snake. Oh no, said Norman. That's the last thing you need when you're feeling so grumpy. Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy, said Jim. Then why that frown? Said Snake. Oh, I think it's because he tripped over you, Norman whispered to the snake. So Jim put on a smile. Finally, Jim looked happy. But he didn't feel happy inside. Everyone wanted Jim to enjoy this wonderful day. You should sing with us, said the birds. But Jim didn't feel like singing. You should swing with us, said the monkeys. Jim didn't feel like swinging. You should roll with us, said the zebras. Jim didn't feel like rolling. You should stroll with us, said the peacocks. Jim didn't feel like strolling. You should lie in the grass. You should stomp your feet. You should take a bath. And make a splash. You should hug someone. You should laugh. You could take a nap. You could eat old meat. Or some honey. You could jump up and down. You could sit in the sun. You should dance. But Jim didn't feel like doing any of that. Why are you so grumpy, Jim? Asked the others. It's such a wonderful day. I'm not grumpy, shouted Jim as he beat his chest. And he stormed off. Jim felt sorry, a little sorry for shouting at everyone, but mostly sorry for himself. I guess I'm grumpy, Jim sighed. And just as he was starting to feel really sad, he came upon Norman. Norman was slumped. His eyebrows were bunched up, and he was frowning. What's the matter? Are you grumpy? Asked Jim. No, I danced with Porcupine, said Norman. Are you okay? Asked Jim. It hurts, but I'll probably feel better soon enough, said Norman. Are you still grumpy? Yes, said Jim, but I'll probably feel better soon enough too. For now, I need to be grumpy. It's a wonderful day to be grumpy, said Norman. Jim agreed, and he already felt a little bit better. The end.
And now, time for a new book.
This book is called The Wonky Donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! And he only had 3 legs. He was a wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs and 1 eye. He was a winky wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye, and he liked to listen to country music. Yee-haw! He was a honky-tonky, winky wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye, and liked to listen to country music. And he was quite tall and slim. He was a lanky, honky-tonky, winky wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim, and he smelt really, really bad. He was a stinky, dinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelt really, really bad. And that morning, he'd got up early and hadn't had any coffee. He was a cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelt really, really bad. That morning he'd got up early and hadn't had any coffee. And he was always getting up to mischief. He was a hanky-panky, cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelt really, really bad. That morning he'd got up early and hadn't had any coffee. He was always getting up to mischief, but he was quite good looking. He was a spunky, hanky-panky, cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky, tonky, winky, wonky, donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! The end.
And now, time for a new book.
This story is called While I Am Sleeping. While I am sleeping and tucked in my bed, at night time some people are working instead. The bakers make bread, chocolate, cookies and pies, and gingerbread people with buttons and eyes. While I am sleeping and tucked in my bed, at night time some people are working instead. The garage attendant pumps gasoline, and the janitor dusts and scrubs everything clean. While I am sleeping and tucked in my bed, at night time some people are working instead. Brave firefighters put out hot flames with a hose, and doctors take care of sick patients who doze. While I am sleeping and tucked in my bed, at night time some people are working instead. Street cleaners sweep sidewalks and empty the trash, and security guards watch over the cash. While I am sleeping and tucked in my bed, at night time some people are working instead. Ambulance drivers with sirens and lights rush to help people all through the night. While I am sleeping and tucked in my bed, at night time some people are working instead. Delivery drivers in trucks and vans drop off papers and food in packets and cans. While I am sleeping and tucked in my bed, at night time some people are working instead. When they are tired and need a quick break, they run to the diner for coffee and cake. While I am sleeping and tucked in my bed, at night time some people are working instead. Market sellers pick up fish and fresh meat and boxes of fruit that taste oh so sweet. While I am sleeping and tucked in my bed, at night time some people are working instead. Grocery store workers fill up the shelves, all laughing and joking amongst themselves. While I am sleeping and tucked in my bed, at night time some people are working instead. At stations and airports, taxis wait in a row, and the drivers take people where they want to go. While I am sleeping and tucked in my bed, at night time some people are working instead. But when I wake up, bright and early each day, the night workers are snoozing and snoring away.